We are going now to be entertained by Wren Trust.
Yep. Yes, good afternoon. My name is Marilyn Tucker and this is Paul Wilson. And we're going to start these proceedings off properly with a song. But this is a song, we think, from English tradition that comments on some of the original uses of church house, and it's called John Barleycorn.
There were two brothers stood on yon hill, as it might be you and I. They did vow and swear and did declare John Barleycorn should die. John Barleycorn should die. So they buried him on yonder hill so high, and they threw soil over his head. And there he lay a considerable time, till they thought that he was dead. They thought that he was dead. He lay till springtime of the year, till the rain from heaven did fall. And then Sir John he pushed up his head, and he made them liars all. He made them liars all. He lay till midsummer time of the year, till the weather was pleasant and warm. And then Sir John he grew a beard, and he soon became a man. He soon became a man. And then the mowers they do come in and cut him close to the ground. And then the wagoners they do come in and haul him to some barn. And haul him to some barn. Then they hired men with a flail so strong, and they picked the flesh from his bones. But the miller used him 10 times worse, for he ground in between two stones. He ground in between two stones. You can put red wine into a glass, put cider in an old tin can. You can put Sir John in a nut brown jug, and he'll make the merriest man. He'll make the merriest man. Fantastic.
Thank you so much for coming to this, which is such an occasion for this parish, and welcome. I am going to shortly invite 2 or 3 people to say a few words, but in the meantime I have some thank yous to say of our own. Firstly, to the Wren singers here, it would be wonderful to have them here. To Annabelle, who is playing her harp upstairs, wonderful music. Annabelle, thank you. But particularly to the committee, the ladies, who's Irene, who has been our secretary, to Laura, to Fee, and in the earlier days, for a while, to Meg, to Clifford, to Mike and Eric, to Andy, to Pete, and to David. For those 3 years, to that committee, thank you very, very much. It's a greatest pleasure to invite Debbie Griffiths, who is the head of archaeology and appropriately historic buildings in the National Park, to formally declare it open and to say a few words.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much for inviting me to open it. I do feel very honoured.
I've known this building from the outside for nearly 20 years now, and indeed a photograph of it is always used in my sort of standard talk on medieval Dartmoor because it is such an attractive building and represents the sort of medieval architecture of Dartmoor at the sort of height of its prosperity. But it wasn't until about 3 or 4 years ago that I actually came inside the building, and I did so at the invite of the PCC, who I was talking in South Seagull to about the little church there, and they said, come up the road and have a look at this building. We've got a few problems with it. So I came in, and I came into the downstairs, and at that time, the downstairs had, what shall I call it, a very strong 60s, 1960s, not 1560s, feel to it, you know, and it was looking a bit shabby, and I thought, oh, well, you know, okay, that's fine. And then we went upstairs, and I was absolutely stunned. I'd never seen anything like it. I mean, you've all been upstairs now. And where else can you actually stand and look at an entire medieval roof down its length? You can see all the trusses, and you can see the underside of the thatch. And I couldn't believe it. I had to blink, you know, several times. And the thatch, as you know, is smoke blackened, which makes this an extremely rare building. It's only one of about 200 examples surviving in the country. So as soon as I came in, I knew that we were looking at a very special building indeed. And it's not only architecturally important, I think it's also a culturally important building. As you know, church houses were built by the parish as buildings to meet in, to hold events in, and to make merry in, as I hope everybody will be able to do when I eventually finish talking. They were also used for brewing and baking, brewing church ales, hence the large fireplaces. And in 1599, I think, the church decided that the church itself should no longer brew ales, and church ales were banned. And from that period onwards, a lot of these church houses went out of use. They were either demolished or they went into private hands, and that's why we've got such a lot of church house inns surviving, because they carried on with the brewing tradition, but not run by the community. And so to find a building that still belongs to the parish, still is a community building, still is the focus of community activities, is very special indeed, and makes this give a very special contribution, I think, to our cultural heritage. There's no ribbon to cut or bottle of champagne to smash against the outside, so I will just declare the building open, or rather reopened.
Without, of course, money, we would not have made it. And I would like to introduce you now to Adrian Tunniswood, who is chairman of the HLF committee in the Southwest.
I just want to congratulate everybody. I want to congratulate the community. It's an amazing thing that you've done. The HLF has given over £300 million to historic projects, heritage projects across the Southwest, 3.3 billion to projects across the UK since its inception 11 years ago. And there's all kinds of things. There's the big ones we all hear about. You know, the SS Great Britain, the Kennet Navan Canal, these massive, iconic landmark projects. But the HLF, the Heritage Lottery Fund, is about everybody's heritage. It's about opening up heritage to communities. It's about encouraging the communities to make up their own minds about what their heritage is, what they value, what they treasure. And that's exactly what you've done here. I mean, it just takes my breath away. Isn't it fantastic? Isn't it a fantastic building? It's amazing. We look not only to help to conserve our heritage, but also, as I say, to open it up to more members of the community. And again, that's what you've done here. It's a remarkable, remarkable achievement. And I guess all I really want to say is that a society which fails to treasure its past has no future. And in ensuring that the church house has a future, you have made the world a better place. And I salute you for that. Thank you very much, and well done to you.
Without David Ewell, I think we all know, I certainly know, that without David Ewell, there probably would not have been Church House as we now know it here today. his work and his dedication has been absolutely, it's mind-boggling. But now I'm going to invite David to say his own few words to you. David.
Thank you.
There are over 70 people who have been involved in this project. I'm not going to mention all the 70. We were very lucky indeed to find Cynthia Gaskell-Brown, who's probably somewhere amongst you in front of me. She has been very supportive from the very beginning and gone way beyond her remit. She started her work in February, March 2003, and she's still at it now, in fact, still working out the guidebook and so on. So, been a tremendous amount of work on her behalf. Russell telephoned me, he said, be around on that day, and he telephoned me with the great news: we've been awarded the Heritage Lottery grant of 274,000, which was 78% or so of the total cost, which, as David said, without an Adrian, I mean without Heritage Lottery, this could never ever have happened. We could have rethatched it, which is what prompted the crisis, but we couldn't have done anything else. Ian Tyers, who's Sheffield University Dendro Lab, timber dating, and his reports have been invaluable. They've given us confirmation of some of the things we weren't sure about, and he's dated most of the timbers in the roof and a lot of these joists here, floor joists, and given us confirmation of dates with extraordinary detail and facts. The decimers of the main, the central stack, were dated to being cut down in the winter of 1699. And somebody said, was it snowing? Having got this building in the state it is, we need to safeguard its future, and we can best do that by using it. So I would encourage anybody who's thinking of looking around for a place to use to remember Church House. It's been a thoroughly exciting 3 years, and we haven't finished yet.
Now remains me to give you our star, real star, of course, of this afternoon, who is Church House herself. So please, the refreshments are upstairs, and that's it. Thank you very much for coming.